This is VOA News. I'm Marissa Melton. The United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, has condemned the two mass shootings that took place in the United States over the weekend. They claimed the lives of at least 31 people. Bachelet endorsed strong gun control measures to preempt such attacks. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine held a news conference Tuesday to announce his plan to reduce gun violence. Ohio is one of the two states where mass shootings took place. The other is Texas. AP's Rita Foley reports.
Governor Mike DeWine is calling for state laws requiring background checks for nearly all gun sales.
We can come together to do these things to save lives.
He also wants courts to restrict firearms access for those perceived as threats.
These orders, which would be granted upon clear and convincing evidence, would allow the removal of firearms from potentially dangerous individuals.
As he prepared to speak, somebody shouted at him. Do something, the same two words they yelled at him on Sunday night as he spoke during a vigil honoring the victims. I'm Rita Foley.
The Philippines has declared a national dengue epidemic, saying the mosquito-borne disease has killed at least 622 people so far this year. More than 146,000 cases were recorded from January to July 20th this year. That's a 98% jump from a year ago. Dengue can cause severe flu-like symptoms, including joint pain, nausea, rash, and can cause breathing problems, hemorrhaging, and organ failure in severe cases. It's commonly found in tropical countries worldwide. Philippines vaccinated school children against the disease in 2016 and 2017, but discontinued the vaccinations after finding problems with the drug. Philippines Health Department says it will focus on destroying mosquitoes instead. This is VOA News. U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton said one day after the U.S. placed a full economic embargo against Venezuela, the United States can now sanction anyone who supports the government of President Nicolas Maduro. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order Monday to freeze all Venezuelan government assets in the U.S., the toughest sanctions on Maduro's government so far. Bolton spoke on Tuesday in Lima, Peru, at a summit on Venezuela.
I don't like to speak with respect to a particular company, but I would say to the board of directors and the shareholders of any American companies, is it in your corporate culture to engage in commercial activity that supports a brutal dictatorship? Is that really how you want to be known?
Bolton said the U.S. is sending a signal to third parties that want to do business with the Maduro regime. Proceed with extreme caution.
So basically, one way to summarize this to a business, for example, is do you want to do business in Venezuela or do you want to do business with the United States?
Bolton called on world leaders at the International Conference on Democracy in Venezuela to take tougher action to oust Maduro, whom he accused of pretending to negotiate in good faith in order to buy time. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs says the situation for civilians in Syria's Idlib province is dire, and a third of those suffering are children. Lisa Schlein reports for VOA from Geneva.
Some 3 million civilians in Idlib and surrounding areas are trapped in the violence, a third of whom are children. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reports the situation for everyone is dire, especially for children. Syrian government forces, backed by their Russian allies, have been mounting a ferocious military offensive to retake Idlib. OCHA spokesman Jens Laerke says many of the children caught in this maelstrom have known nothing but war.
They were afraid, they were displaced, and they and their schools were being bombed, and they just wanted the bombing to stop.
The United Nations reports 440,000 people are displaced in Idlib province. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
American author Toni Morrison, the first black woman to win the Nobel Prize for Literature, has passed away at age 88. Her publishing company said Morrison died Monday night at a medical center in New York City. Morrison won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1993. She also won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Her best-known books include Beloved and The Bluest Eye. I'm Marissa Melton. You're listening to VOA News.